And it is Talkback. It is Sunday morning. I'm your host, Larry Hall, and welcome to another edition of Talkback, the show that listens as we talk to you. Again, you know our numbers, 1-800-467-3699. If you are in Raleigh, 821-1043. In Durham, in the Bull City, 941-1071. This is Talkback, the show that listens as we talk to you, and talking about some things happening in our community. And got to give big ups, shout outs, recognition, props, whatever you want to call it. But certainly it was going on in Durham last night as we talk about giving recognition to folks that were honored, not just at the North Carolina Central University Law School celebration of their anniversary, but also of the Durham Committee on the Affairs of Black People, their 74th Founders Anniversary Banquet, and their honorees, Dr. Andrea Harris and Dr. Kenneth Hammond. So we certainly want to send our recognition out to them, as well as the North Carolina Central University Law School, many of their alumni being in town and being present, people from G.K. Butterfield to H.M. Mickey Mashaw to Willie Gary, and the list goes on. As you know, many great alumnus of that school, and they celebrated this weekend with the golf tournament fundraiser and honoring many of their alumni. Henry Fry was there as well, and Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals judge. So we had many stars shining brightly in Durham last night, but I'm sure happening all over the state that time of year. And obviously coming up on football season, so a lot of folks excited about what's happening. We're going to talk a little bit about that issue or idea of redemption this morning. Everything in context, though, we're going to talk about health care as well, and we know that's still the big issue, the big topic people are talking about. We're going to talk a little bit about the state budget this morning, something that people over time will deal with as we look at the economy, hopefully on rebound, and maybe talk a little bit about politics. Whether or not the Senate race coming up in North Carolina is going to be something people want to be involved with and really want to pay attention to. Are there some other things happening that going to take the spotlight away with some of the state investigations going on? So again, lots of topics this morning on Talkback. Our number 1-800-467-3699. You know we will try to get you on, but be patient as we try to work our way through some of these subjects. And in studio this morning, we have some help. Some people may call it help. Some people may call it trouble. But Professor Roberts in this morning to talk to us a little bit on some issues. And as we left you last week, we talked about health care and some of the concerns about how health care will affect or could affect our communities, differing economic and social strata. Who will really benefit in the long run? Will we all benefit in the long run? And but basically, where are we now? So some questions to be asked. Many town hall meetings continue as we talk about and open up with the idea of health care. Many town hall meetings continuing throughout the state and the nation. Seems the tide may be turning a little bit on the idea of let's have a fair and open debate. Let's decide what the real costs are out there, and let's decide who might end up paying. So that debate, the first few weeks while Congress was in recess, seemed to be dominated by people who were opposed to any health care reform. Apparently people who said, I got mine, you need to get yours, I like it is, and too bad, so sad for you. But that tide seems to be turning now with the president always trying to get the message out and the president trying to get the debate back on course about health care and off some of the other topics. Professor Roberts, I'm going to bring you in real quick as we talk about some things, but as just a general opening on this health care. What do you think about the tenor of the debate now that the president has been involved more so? And we'll come back to the issue of guns being the latest effort to interject some unrelated issue into the debate about whether or not guns should be allowed to be present at town hall meetings. A totally irrelevant issue, wasn't out there before. Seems like the debate was getting to the issues and the projections of what the true costs are now versus what they might be in the future. And then all of a sudden, this issue of we should be able to bring guns to the public meeting starts to be an issue to try to maybe galvanize people who want to somehow create health care and gun rights as compatible issues. What do you think about that strategy, and does it serve us as we look for a legitimate discussion here?
Well, thank you, Larry. As you know, the federal government issued a report several years ago, actually commissioned by President Bush, on the development of militias and what was observed to be an upsurge in violent activity by those groups. In addition to the federal report that came out of the Bush administration's term, there have been several other reports issued by southern institutions, one of which is in Montgomery, Alabama, administrated by Mr. Dees. It too shows that there's been an upsurge in the development of militias, and we expect even greater extremism as a result of that activity. We've had an attack at the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C., and we've had Representative Colburn from Oklahoma attach a law to the consumer protection legislation that was passed recently, ensuring that members of the national community are able to carry guns into wildlife refuges and other and national parks in general. All of this has had a negative impact on the tenor of the debate. The issues have been skirted. Even Senator Grassley from Iowa has made it much more difficult to get to the core issues, inasmuch as he's offered this comment about end-of-life decisions and grandma, quote unquote, could very well be terminated if the legislation of the Obama administration is passed.